Afternoon, Frank.
Hi.
You beat Tottenham in both league games last season, but they look a different proposition this time round. Do you feel like you're playing a different Spurs side to that of last season?
Yeah, I certainly don't put anything on the fact that we beat them twice last season. It's every new year will bring something else. I think Tottenham invested heavily in the break and brought in some very good players, experienced players, top level players that will strengthen their squad, no doubt. And they already had a really strong squad already before that. So I'm expecting a tough match. Whatever their start's shown that they've shown the squad that they have, and the fact that they also have a depth in their squad, which was shown last night, and the fact that they can make so many changes in the Europa League.
I know you already touched on you and Tottenham being title contenders, but how important is it to beat them in order to fulfil your ambition this season?
Well, I think in the short term, it's the game that's in front of us, and when you're playing rivals in terms of people that are fighting near you, then it's obviously important to try and win those games, and it can be very good for confidence. They're playing very well. They obviously beat Manchester City last week, and you can imagine the bouncing confidence that gave them. So we're in a similar position. In the bigger picture, there's a long way to go, so I don't think it's going to be absolutely telling for either of us. But at this moment, of course, we're prepared to try and win the game, to gain points against a close rival.
Obviously, always a big game, a London derby, Frank, Jose, but two teams in such good form, in the best form currently in the Premier League. Is it extra special?
I think Chelsea-Tottenham is extra special anyway because of the rivalry between the two teams. I played in the fixture many a time, and the fact that we're in good form and towards the top end of the table adds spice. It's obviously positions that we want to be in. We're all fighting for those kind of positions. So I think it's a game that remains special for those reasons. But in the league positions, of course, all eyes will be drawn to it.
Bookies have you and Spurs third and fourth favourites to win the title. Jose says constantly he's just looking at the next game. That's obviously his way of dealing with the fact that they're top of the table. You're not far behind them. Are you both, do you think, Spurs and Chelsea, title contenders a quarter of the way through the season?
No, I understand Jose's answer, and that's the position we should be in because the marker has been set by Liverpool and Manchester City in the last 2 or 3 seasons. We're early on in the season, really, in terms of games, so we shouldn't get carried away with our teams. It's good that we're competing high up, but there's such a long way to go that I understand his position. I feel the same about us.
Hello there. Team news, please, sir.
Team news is that we're as we were. Christian Pulisic is back in to contention and fitness. Kai Havertz played some minutes the other day. It's probably more just checking on his potential for match fitness, but we're in pretty good shape.
People seem to be reporting as facts that you're in talks at the club with Thiago to keep him for an extra year.
Yeah, I've seen the reports, and there's an option in Thiago's contract that we can look at as the season goes on. And obviously the way he's playing at the minute, we're very happy. So that's the end of it, really. I'm surprised it's come out in that way.
So it's not wrong, but you're not saying any more. I'll put it like that.
There's an option in his contract, yeah. So. Yeah.
And just quickly on Pulisic, he's ready, he's fit and ready to start, is he?
Yeah, he's fit, and ready to start is a question mark. It's hard to gauge match fitness in the training times as they are with COVID. It's very hard to recreate match play and training because the rest of the players are preparing for games every 3 days, and we didn't have any academy games that we can mix bubbles. So every player, not just Christian, that comes back from fitness, it's actually sometimes more difficult at the moment to get them ready to start games. So we'll see.
John Southall, 5 line.
Hi Frank.
Hi.
How much do you enjoy the challenge of going up against Jose? Obviously, you've got a very good record against him as a manager. You've had that little spat on the touchline. How important for you is it to stand your ground against the likes of Jose, Jurgen Klopp, Pep as a young manager?
Yeah, I don't. It's not important to stand my ground. It's important to approach the games against all the top coaches. We're fortunate in the Premier League to have great coaches. Try and prepare my team as well as I can to try and win the games, and that's just my job. So. Of course, these are the moments you want to be in this job for when you're competing against the best.
Hi, Frank.
Hi, Martin.
Just a quick about the way the game might pan out. It's wonderful watching the way you play. Congratulations the way you win when all your attacking options to get the best out of them so quickly. And you're a very attack-minded side, an attack-minded manager. But Jose loves that. They're very well set up on the counter-attack, Spurs. Will you have to think long and hard about how and when to go at Tottenham, or can you just go and play it as another game the way the Chelsea have been playing?
I think when you have to respect Tottenham and the way they're playing and the quality they have and their style and how they like to approach games, and I'm sort of very aware of it, and the game last week had lots of pointers to that. But I also think they're a team and a squad that are so talented that they can play in various ways. I don't want to expect anything against their team, because they have ways where I think they can put pressure up you higher up the pitch. They tend to be more counter-attacking at the moment, but I'm not going into it expecting that. With us, I think one of the best things I've seen in us recently is the balance in our team. So I'd like to think that we're not an overly attacking team that will leave ourselves vulnerable, but we have to be aware, particularly of a player at the level of Harry Kane and the relationship that him and Son have at the minute. I don't think you can look past that. My job is to understand that and try and make sure the players have all the information for them to go and deal with the game.
Hi Frank, thanks for your time as always. Just on Jose, does what he's doing now with Spurs kind of prove the old adage that form's temporary and class is permanent, and is he just as difficult a guy to manage against and just as talented manager as he ever has been?
Yeah, of course he is. You don't have a record as decorated as Jose Mourinho has as a manager without being a very talented coach. And for all of us, the game is so reactionary at the moment, particularly in the modern era with social media reactions, that form will always be judged very harshly for any manager that they are, and Tottenham are in good form. So they're on a good run, they have good players, they have a good manager. They just will be a very difficult game for us.
Frank, you talked about how Jose Mourinho took your game to another level. There were queries about whether Harry Kane would be able to score enough goals underneath him. He's actually developed into a playmaker now. How do you assess his development under Jose Mourinho? Is he now a player that's less predictable?
Firstly, the queries of Harry Kane are incredible and a nonsense. No matter who was managing him, the player that Harry Kane is one of the best players in world football. Has always had, I think, the talents to play as an out-and-out nine or somebody who can drop off. And now he's developing in his own way as he matures as a player. He's a really impressive player. There's no doubt about that. I've got a huge amount of respect for Harry Kane. And around him now, he's got a very solid team, squad, good players around him, players that want to run behind if he does want to come short. So I think he's a very good and a very intelligent player, and it's as simple as that. He's got a very good coach, and that's why they're in a strong position, because as a coach we do rely on our top players to perform. And at the minute, Harry Kane is an example of a player really in a sweet spot and playing top football.